Hello, and again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. Across from me is
Brandon Ross.
Who are you? What do you do?
My name is Brandon Ross. I am a punk vocalist in the band Grandpa Vern. I also play guitar and do some solo stuff, but just kind of like recording in my bedroom on my own is like I do some side project stuff that's more like singer-songwriter stuff, but I mostly just do like heavier music.
Yeah. What is Grandpa Vern?
So when I was a kid, I was really into like slowcore, sad style folk music, like Elliott Smith and stuff. I mean, I don't know if people would call it slowcore, but like just, like sad singer-songwriter stuff, like especially like 90s stuff, like Elliott Smith or Daniel Johnson. I don't know, just kind of stuff like that. And I would like play coffee shops and stuff and do open mics from like ages like 16 to like 19. And then I went to film school and I basically was just, I don't know. I just didn't think I could do music. I thought that film was more of a responsible career. Like being a video editor is like more tangible. And I mean, it turns out it's really not. It's still a very difficult industry and it's a lot. But I think then when COVID hit, or I don't know, it was just like, I don't even know if it was exactly COVID or like, I just like kind of had a realization that like I went to film school and all of these people like were talking about film all the time. And I like movies a lot, but the way that they cared about it and the intensity that they cared about it is how I felt about music. And it's how I've always felt about music. And so it was cool to like go to film school to have to realize that, because I kind of made me realize that that I wanted to fully invest in trying to do music, and that I probably would regret it for the rest of my life if I didn't, because it was like the thing that like, I don't know. Also like missing concerts during COVID like was really upsetting for me, because like from ages like 17 to like however old I was whenever COVID hit, I think it was like 19, 20. I was like going to a show like every week before that happened. And so like my whole entire life had like, by show, obviously not like expensive shows, but like local, any local music I could, like something like relatively cheap, $5-10. But Grandpa Vern started out as like a folk thing, and then it's had like different members, and it's always kind of, for a while it was like my solo project. So it went from like being a folk thing to like an indie rock thing to getting heavier and heavier, because my current lineup is into like insanely heavy music. Like my drummer Preston, he grew up playing like old 80s like thrash, and then he like got into like heavier, more and more extreme metal, and so he's like into like intense death metal and stuff like that. And Jack, our bass player, is into like slam and like other crazy subgenres of metal and like power violence and stuff like that. And so like I was kind of like, okay, we'll just be like this punk thing, and then they're like, no, we're getting heavier and heavier, and like, it became a band and less of a solo project, and it just became something altogether completely different. And so now we're just like a hardcore punk band. But like initially it was kind of like hard to decide what it was. I was like, oh, well, I want to still have like these like introspective, quiet songs and stuff. And I realized for branding purposes that it's almost impossible to have a song that I do that's like a hardcore song where we're like talking about like police reform and like and stuff like that, and then like screaming and like talking about like intense things, and then coming back down to like a more introspective, quiet thing where I'm talking about like something personal. And so I decided that I probably needed to have like two different things. That way we could kind of market it better.
Sure. Where does the name Grandpa Vern come from?
It comes from my grandpa. I literally named it after my grandpa. He was a big influence on my life. I don't know. In a lot of ways, I feel like he I don't know. He was like a third parent to me. He like kind of helped raise me and stuff. My grandpa did. He was really involved in our life. He like came over every night for dinner, and like I would stay the night with him like pretty much every week as a little kid. And like he picked me up from school every day. And you know, he was just like super important to me. And he helped get me into music when I was a kid. He would like take me to guitar lessons, and my dad did too most of the time, but like my grandpa also took me to guitar lessons, and he was just like a huge influence on my life. And it was like just kind of like a homage thing, and I thought it was goofy and it was a funny name. Every time that someone asks me what my band name is, though, a part of me dies on the inside a little bit inside because I know it's goofy. But you know, and like it's kind of, I've just, you know, as I've gotten older and stuff, I've had to like come to terms with like, I don't know, like just like it's made me think about him as a person more, like having the band named after him and stuff. And like it's kind of just been like really interesting to like take that on and like, you know, just like continue to think about him. I think that's probably part of what it was for me, was like to not like forget about him.
Yeah. Do you think he would like the music?
Yeah. See, that's the thing that's really hard is like, I don't. I think he would probably, I think that he would hate it. And I think that he would ideologically stand against like probably everything that I'm for right now. And I think that is part of it for me, is like seeing, I don't know, it helps me see how far I've come and stuff. And like, I don't know. He was just old, dude. He like, he grew up during the Great Depression. And so like, in like World War II and stuff. And so it was really weird because like I was really close to him and stuff. And it was weird to like have a connection to the past like that. Like I remember him telling me about stuff that like is literally just insane. You know what I mean? Like he just grew up in like a weird time. Like he told me like the first time that he saw a person of color, like a black person, he was like 12 years old or something like that, which is like insane. And so like, he's just like, you know, he's just, there was just a lot about him that I just wish that, like, it's hard because as a kid, there'll be someone who's like your hero and stuff. But then like as an adult, you get older and you realize that like he was like in a lot of ways like a deeply flawed person. And like, I don't know. It's, I think thinking about that like helps ground me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you think he'd be proud of like you doing what you want to do? Because I mean, he did take you to like guitar lessons and stuff.
Yeah. I think he would be proud. I just like don't know if he would. I don't know if he would understand. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't know if he'd understand. I don't know if he could understand. Like, I don't even like. There's just certain things that like I can't even imagine having to like the idea of having to have come out to him is like so weird. Like to me, like if I would have been like, hey, I'm non-binary, hey, I'm bi, or like these things, like I think he would still have loved me, but like I think he wouldn't have understood, or he would have, I don't know. I
like
feel
had a hard time.
Had a hard time with it. Yeah. I think he would have a really hard time with it. I think he'd have a hard time with the way things are right now. I think he wouldn't understand. And I think that I don't know. I hope that if, I think that he would probably have listened to me more than anyone else. Like, I think I could have like talked to him and hopefully like changed his perspectives on things and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. More on you, I guess, like, where are you from? Where'd you grow up? What's that like?
I'm from here. I'm from OKC, but like I grew up in Yukon. That's like where my first house was as a kid, from like ages like 1 to 12. I lived in Yukon. I went to school. My first school was Mustang Creek, and then I went to Bethany, a small school, and I grew up in the small town or going to school of the small town of Bethany, but then we moved to OKC. So I like was a transfer student. And then I, went to vocational school out in El Reno in the middle of nowhere. There was like a vocational school next to like a cattle farm, so it always smelled like dead cows.
sorry, I'm dumb. Or what does vocational school mean?
Like tech school.
Okay.
Like kind of like Francis Tuttle. I went to Canadian Valley for video editing.
Okay. So then why video? I mean, yeah, you like went to film school. Why?
Well, I went to there and then I went to college film school because I don't know. I just liked making like weird like videos and stuff. Like I was really obsessed with like weird like video stuff. Like I really liked like Eric Andre and like Tim and Eric and stuff like that. And like I don't know. It was just like it was just like fun for me. Like I liked like shooting like weird sketches and stuff that were like dorky and then like over editing them and then showing them to my friends and being like, isn't this hilarious? And then like not really ever doing anything with it. But I think it was always kind of more for me and less for like public consumption when I did it. It was always more for like my friends and stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel like, I mean, I can kind of see it, but like, do you feel like you're leaning towards the visual aspects kind of really affects the band's aesthetic?
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I mean I feel like the lo-fi kind of feel is something that
is like a choice.
Yeah.
Like, are you saying like we seem to have the ability to make like aesthetic visual choices because of that? Yeah, for sure. Oh, 110%. Like, it's not something I don't think about. Like, as a band, I think there's a lot of people who are like especially punk bands who are like, oh, trying to market yourself is like, or like do music videos or whatever is like is lame or whatever. And to me, I'm always like, no, I'm like, you're missing it. Yeah. You're missing the point. Like, you could do like all this like weird stuff. Like, you could do like weird Andy Kaufman stuff and like have like layers to your like marketing that are like the art itself too. And so like, I do think about like the pictures we post and like, I do think about stuff like that because I think that for me, that's also part of the fun. Mm-hmm. For sure. I definitely think about it. Yeah.
And so then actually something that you're in the mics, something that you're mentioning is that like the punk aesthetic and like what it should and shouldn't be. And so, I mean, does it matter to you?
Oh, I think about that a lot, actually. I think that in like punk and hardcore communities, like everyone that I know that's like a real one doesn't give a fuck. And anything that's cool is the word punk. Like, but like, to me, it's like people like the gatekeepy old head hardcore dudes are so irritating sometimes because they'll be like, this band isn't real hardcore. And it's like, okay, like what about it is not real hardcore? The fact that there is a lead vocalist that's a woman, that there's like, one of my favorite hardcore bands is Soul Glow. And I like love their newest album. It's so tight. And like on hardcore Reddit forums, sometimes people will be like, that band is not a like hard. It's like, why? Because like they have songs with rap in it. It's like, why do you care? I just don't understand. Like, they try to be like, this is what punk or hardcore or whatever can be, and it's like it's stupid. And I feel like it comes from like a bigoted, closed-minded place where they're like, we have to put in this box of like what punk or hardcore can be. And for me, I think punk is, I don't know. I think, I don't know. I don't even want to try to put it into words. There's this Shia LaBeouf quote that's like, art is anything that moves you. I love that quote.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. For me, punk is anything that is like positive and moves me and is like kind of goes its own way in like a positive way and not, I don't know, DIY, doing things yourself, not really worrying about like what other people think. And punk should be like giving a voice to people who don't really like have a voice and have something to say. It shouldn't be about like the technical qualities. It should just be straight like, do you have something to say? Like, that's what I think punk should be.
Yeah and that means that like lots of things are punk, even if it doesn't sound like what you think punk is. Like, so many things are punk.
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely.
Is genre real?
is genre real?
Or does it matter?
I think it helps. I think it helps for sure. Like there's a lot of people that say that like, oh, I wish like I could just do whatever in whatever genre and like people wouldn't like put a label on me. And I've definitely felt like that before, but like from a marketing standpoint, it can be super helpful. Mm-hmm. Because if someone says to me, oh, I'm in a punk band, it's like, okay, I'm like, if I'm booking a show, it's like, what does that mean? There's a lot of different types of punk. There's like more like almost closer to like Devo or like new wave style stuff, like B-52s. That's like more like, you know, there could be even synths and stuff, but then there's like Earth Crisis, Black Flag, like or like newer stuff like Drain and stuff. Like it's so much heavier and different. I think being like, this is hardcore punk or this is like new wave or whatever, I think it's helpful just for like kind of knowing what you're getting.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't want people to know what they're getting. Like sometimes you do want to be able to play on like a mixed lineup and stuff and let people, you know, because sometimes that's when you see some of the best stuff.
Yeah.
Is when you see something you normally wouldn't.
Yeah. And not having expectations about like, oh, this is what I want you to do for me. It's like, no, we're here doing what we want to do.
Right.
And that's punk. Is there a like deep nitty gritty or some cutting edge thing in your music that you're like super proud of that you want more people to know about?
Anything that's in my music that I'm super proud of?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm proud of our production choices. Like when me and my guitarist and like co-producer of our music, Griff Stafford,
friend of the podcast,
friend of the podcast, always looking to get hired for freelance music production stuff. He when me and him like go into the studio together, like I feel like we work really well together. I think that it kind of just feels like I'm like working with my best friend on a project. And so it's like, it doesn't even feel like work. It feels like I'm just getting to go like experiment on something with a friend. Like, not to say that it's not stressful sometimes or that like we'll go into the studio and not like have an argument. Like when me and Griff and Preston have gone into the studio before, like I've definitely like gotten into it with like our drummer Preston over stupid stuff where like, you know, like it's just sometimes being in the studio is stressful. Sometimes it's stressful. Like, you have a certain amount of time, like especially if you're like paying for hours or whatever. And like, you're like, if you change something or do something different and like, you know, it sometimes like personalities can clash in the studio, but I feel like for the most part, it doesn't really feel like that. I think for the most part, we do a good job of like giving each other ideas and stuff. I really like adding weird sonic textures. Like, I feel like we've done a good job of that. Like samples and stuff. Like I really would like more samples and like heavy music like incorporated into it. I think it's really cool. And I like when other heavy music does it. Like I sampled my little brother's choir for one of our songs recently. That's cool. And you know, that was really cool.
Why music?
It was just like a form of escapism for me as a kid, and it helped with my anxiety a lot. And I think that music has made me feel powerful when I've felt weak. I like it a lot. It helps me a lot.
Yeah. What's something people don't normally know about you?
I think most people know this, like that I'm close friends with, that I'm straight edge. Like I don't like do drugs or drink or something or anything. So like I think that is something that is a little bit different about me. Like if any of my friends are listening to this right now, they're like, are we allowed to curse on this? Does it matter? Yeah. Okay. If any of my friends are listening right now, they're like, shut the fuck up. You talk about it all the time. It's like, I don't talk about it all the time. It just comes up all the time when you play in a band because people like give you drink tickets and like, and people offer you like weed and stuff, which is fine. Like I used to smoke when I was a kid and drink when I was younger, but I just don't now.
I'm actually, I call it accidentally straight edge. Because I just never have, and I don't have like an intention to do so. But like, yeah, like you're saying, it does come up a lot, and it's just like, oh, do you want to drink, or oh, do you want to hit? Like, it's like No, I'm good.
It comes up a lot, and people act like you're a dick.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not like, I'm not mean about it.
Yeah,
like,
it was like, I appreciate it, thanks, but also I don't. Yeah, it's a weird pressure, I guess. But what was the like intention behind it? Yeah.
I had friends and other people close to me that were addicts and stuff, and it just like, I don't know. I just wanted to be in control.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in control of my future, and like, I wanted no distractions. I wanted like, it's like productivity is important to me.
Mm-hmm. Cool. What advice do you have for people that are wanting to do what you do?
If you want to do what I do, you are going to have to, I think people don't realize how much you have to work as a musician, that you have to work like all the time. Like you're going to have to work really, really hard if you want to succeed, and you can't let yourself get distracted. I would say take care of yourself, take care of your vocalist, take care of your voice. If you are, if you're a guitarist, like, I don't know, it's just all these things that like you're supposed to do, like actually do help. Like warming up helps. If you're a guitarist too, like it can keep you from getting like carpal tunnel. I just think that, I don't know, and just like stay focused. Like don't let things distract you that aren't ultimately as important to you as your career, if that is like your main thing. And like, I think that there'll be times whenever, I don't know, like you really just have to full send it, or it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like you really, like, it's just not, like it has to be your number one commitment.
Cool. Switching gears into the deep questions that make bit depth. What is the role of spirituality or religion in your life?
It's not like, so my dad was a pastor, youth pastor, and then my grandfather was a pastor, and then my other grandfather was also a pastor. So growing up, I went to church almost 3 days a week, every week for my whole entire life, up until I was maybe 19 or 20 years old. Mm-hmm. And then I left the church because of I went for my parents for the longest time, but then like when COVID happened and I saw how like, especially our denomination of the Christian church dealt with COVID and dealt with the Black Lives Matter movement, and like basically just like turned its back on like injustice in the world, and just like was acted very hurt and petulant around like the COVID thing, and made it seem like it was like, I don't know. It was just upsetting to see how the church dealt with 2020 essentially. And I just like couldn't be in the church anymore. Not because, I don't know, obviously I had some fundamental issues with the way that they were interpreting like the Bible and just like a bunch of stuff. And so, I went through a period of time where I was like kind of researching other religions and stuff and seeing what I thought. And I got really into like mindfulness exercises and like some like Buddhist practices without like really being Buddhist or like doing like, anything. So like just some like intense meditating, and like did some comparative religion reading. And I think that I'm really interested by faith and religion, and I don't know. And the way that other people worship is interesting to me. And I really, I don't have an issue. Like, I don't have like a hatred or think that like Christians are stupid, or that I think, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's just more about like how the church as a whole just like treats people sometimes. Cause I like have individual connections of people that like I grew up with in the church that like were really nice to me and like invested in me in a lot. And then I had other things happen where I was like just like abused by people in the church, and it was really upsetting. And it's just frustrating because like I feel like there's a part of me that feels bad because I did have a sense of community, but then like there is like, some trauma there. So I think like I don't like hate Christians or anything, but like I'm just like apprehensive to trust people now, like when they tell me that they have everything figured out.
Yeah. There's this really good quote, which is uh, seek those out that are looking for answers, flee from those that claim to have found them. And yeah, anyone in especially church that like this is definitive, we know everything, is like you should run away from that.
Yeah. And and like it's hard because like I don't want to say like I don't believe in free will, but I kind of just feel like part of me is just like what would I expect my parents to be like, or anyone to be like that was raised in the environment that they were. I don't know. Like I have a hard time being super mad at my parents, but sometimes when they just like blatantly choose ignorance and stuff, like it can be like really infuriating. And like me and my dad like have gotten like in like screaming matches over things, and like the way that he interprets the Bible, or like hateful things that he's said, like have like caused like real fights between me and my family. And like it's hard. It is really hard, but I'm not going to choose to like hate them. Like I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cut them off.
That's beautiful, actually. Yeah. You're being bigger than the hatred.
Well, it's just like, I don't know, like whenever I've gone to like protests and stuff for like, just for like, like, I don't know, like when that, like, I don't know, that summer was really like the summer that like George Floyd died was like really transformative for me, in realizing that like a lot of the views that I held, or like the way that I saw things, like though they're probably like the views that like most people who were raised in the environment I was raised in would hold, like not like just things where like you would stupid shit that I like believed before, like up into like way too old, like 19 or 20, where I was like, well, like not all cops are like bad people, like I like just like stupid shitty takes like that, like. And I think that just that summer, and like going to a lot of protests and like listening to like people of color talk and stuff, like helped open my mind to like the fact that I like my parents had like put bigoted views in my mind, and I had thought like my whole life like, oh, I'm not racist, like I'm not a bad person, but then like I wasn't like listening to other people. I wasn't listening to other people's experiences. Like I was just, and I kind of think my dad is in that same place. Like I feel sometimes that he's so stuck in like this like moralistic mindset of like the framework that he's been in, that like he can't understand what other people just like feelings or perspectives are. And like I think that my religious growth now is like more about like listening, because like I've been a bad listener for a lot of my life, and I've tried to recently work on becoming a better listener.
Yeah. What is your definition of God?
There is so Yahweh in Hebrew is an onomatopoeia for the sound of breathing in and breathing out. Have you heard that?
Yeah. I was raised Catholic. I've seen all the stuff.
Yeah. But I think that's a good description, is like air, breathing, life.
Yeah.
God is life.
Cool. And then you actually touched on it a little bit, but what is free will?
I think it's hard because like I'm a very like, it's hard for me to like, I think that a lot of things in life are yes and, or like one thing and the other. It's not like if someone tries to like be like, I think it's a nuanced thing. Like, is there free will? I don't think there's 100% free will, but I don't think there's like 100% not free will either. I think that we are raised in circumstances that are out of our condition. Like we're put into conditions that like we can't, like, I think that on a systemic level, I don't know how much free will there is, but on a personal level, I think it's up to us to work through the systemic things that we've dealt with or that we've been handed to try to better ourselves through individual choices that we can make that are free. But I think it's very hard. I think it's hard to get above the poverty line if you grew up poor. I think it's hard to get out of systems that you've been forced into. I think, it's hard. Because I don't know. I would say if there's like free will is over here and then like no free will is over here, I would say I'm kind of like in the middle, a little to the right of no free will.
Yeah. And I mean, so you had mentioned that you've like looked at the like mindfulness practices and stuff like that. So I always like bring this up, but it's like when you meditate, like you're seeing the thoughts arise, but you're not in control of what thoughts happen.
Right. But you can choose how you react to those thoughts. Exactly. Right. And so that's kind of how I feel about it, is like you can't control like things that are like synthesizing around you or what's happening, but like you can control how you react to what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think happens when we die?
I don't know. That's bothered me for a really long time. I still have a very ingrained, horrified feeling towards like death and hell and stuff. Mm-hmm. The thought is pretty upsetting, but I tried to meditate on it for a long time and force myself to think about the fact that I'm going to die someday. Just to kind of get over the fear of it. And it helped a lot. I'm still anyone who says that they're not afraid to die I feel like is a fucking liar. A little bit. Unless
they're like about to die.
Unless they're about to die, yeah. I think for the most part, a lot of people, I don't know. Maybe that's not true. Maybe that was a bold ass statement to make. But like, I think I would say the majority of people are afraid to die. Yeah. Is not a crazy statement. But I don't know. I hope there's something else.
Sure.
I'm hopeful that there is something else.
How do you determine what good behavior is?
Oh, fuck. That's hard. Recently, I've been thinking about that a lot, just because I think, like I was talking about earlier, like having all that time made me do like a lot of introspective thinking and like think about stuff as a kid, like what is good behavior, what's not, like that had been ingrained in me from like Judeo-Christian values, and like the Protestant work ethic. And if I work hard enough, I can force things, like I can force like if I'm in an argument with my partner, I can force progress by being like, we have to work. I have to solve this right now. I have to work through this. I have to make things better. Like I have to fix everything all the time. Like I've kind of had to undo that mindset and actually like listen to my partner instead of just like trying to fix everything all the time, or like listen to other people's perspectives instead of just like this. I don't know. Cause it's hard for me because like, I think a hard part about like what it makes you a good person, what's good behavior, what's not, is I think integrity is important. And I think that part of being a good person is not worrying about looking like a bad person. If you have enough integrity to know what you're doing is right, like you might face consequences for something, but if you can still have integrity, like when it's happening, I think that was something that like actively going to a lot of like political protests helped me with, was like, it's like, okay, this person like is, God, I have this memory of my head of I went to a political protest for Julius Jones, and obviously everyone knows in OKC, I would say, like free Julius. Hopefully everyone knows. Hopefully, everyone probably doesn't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's been a very large issue here, and like it's horrifying. His situation is horrifying, and they should let him out. But I went and there's just like political. Actually, I don't want to dox anyone, so I'm not going to use anyone else's names. But like there was this person, and they were like, they basically were like, we were protesting at the governor's like mansion or whatever, and like people were out there in like the street, and they were like, okay, occupy the street, and like get out there, and the only people that were like willing to like get out like at the time was like a 60 to like, I don't know how old he was, like maybe like a 60-year-old like black pastor was like out in front. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Was like out in the front, and there was this other activist that was white that was like what are you like, what the fuck are all you like white people doing, like get in front of people, and like there's like you know like what's it called, tanks, not tank, it's not like a tank, but it's like riot things. And in my head I'm like, do I have integrity? Am I a good person? I'm very scared to get in front of like these state troopers, like it's scary. Like, do I have integrity? And I think that's like what the last 2 years has been for me, is like redefining what a good person is. Like how tough is my metal? Am I actually willing? I think that the people that, I don't know, I've tried to work on like virtue signaling less and just like having integrity and doing like what I think is right. And like that was like one of those moments where I just like thought about things and was like, I am like, I don't know, like addressing whether or not you will actually, I don't know. I think doing like good actions or whatever are like doing things within like your positive framework that like you claim to uphold, and like staying consistent and like having integrity. To me, like those actions are important. Like if I say that like I hate lying and stuff, and then I lie whenever it's convenient for me, or if I say that like Black Lives Matter, but I'm not willing to like do things to like protect people of color, or if I'm not willing to do things like to help people around me, then I'm just, you know, I feel like that's bad actions. I don't know. I feel like hypocrisy is the root of a lot of bad action.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say working like in the part of town that I do and like serving has made me like feel hypocrisy like a lot. Like a lot of people like will talk about how they like want like good universal income for people and stuff, like in like liberal communities or whatever, and then like those people who I bet vote that way and claim that like tip like 10 to 5%, and you're like it just makes you bitter.
Yeah. I mean, other times it is also just like we are just trying to survive within a system, and it's like it is hard to like, yes, you do want this for people, but also it's like, man, I gotta watch out for myself as well. And that's the hard thing.
For sure. And like with my band, I think about that like all the time, because like when you're an artist, you're constantly, your whole job is making moral decisions.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is. Like it's insane. Like it's like, oh, can I play with this band? Like a person in this band is a dick for XYZ, or can I play this festival? It's like, oh, they donate to XYZ and are shitty. Like it's hard. And I think that's why accountability is important, is because like it just gives chance for like reformation and for things to change and like be more positive. And I think it's just hard. It's hard it feels like you're against the world sometimes.
Yeah. So I will say that, I mean, you're a little bit younger than me. I'm 26, and that
I'm 22.
I feel like even in that like small gap, there's like more of a mindfulness about like keeping track of that shit, and of like, you know, oh, like not playing this festival because of this, or not having
when you were 22.
Yeah, I mean even still, like I try to keep up with it, but like, and I think that's, you know, it, to me, it's showing me a difference in just like the slight generational culture, in that like it's really hard to keep track of that all the time. And I feel like maybe there's just like always a fear, right? But I feel like there's a hard time for people with like what accountability means, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I think, yeah, no, I agree. There's when I mean accountability, I mean like real accountability with like your personal like community, not just like, like dragging people publicly on the internet or whatever, like, which, I mean, there's a place for everything, but like, I just mean like actual like reformative, like holding people individually, holding their friends accountable for things and working through things with them and trying to like push them forward to be better people.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Oh yeah, we're on a podcast talking about cancel culture, but like
I don't even want to think of it like that. That's not even. That's definitely not even what I mean. Like what I mean is like, I mean, I don't know. It's such, whatever. That is a horrible conversation, but like it's something I've had to deal with, like in terms of like dealing with other people and like making decisions as a musician, like who you can play with or not or whatever. And it's just like, I don't know, fuck cancel culture. We're all about accountability.
Yeah, well, and that's it's important to understand the nuance between those two things, right? And so if like this band has like a rapist in it, it's like I don't want to play on that lineup, No. And so like that's cool, but like if you didn't know and you played that show and someone comes up to you, it's like, oh shit, like I didn't know, like you don't deserve to be canceled for not knowing. But then also is like, yeah, I'm not playing any of the, now that I know, like I'm not playing any of the shows with that band or that whatever. And it's like I don't know if I've ever played in a band.
I would say like for me, I try to work towards nothing. Any moralistic decision I make shouldn't be for the fear of like being deplatformed or canceled or whatever. It should be because I oppose what someone is doing and I want them to change what they're doing, not because I don't want to be associated with them because it'll hurt my image. Like you're like, I want to have enough integrity to be like, I'm trying to prevent harm from happening, not that I am like, look how good our brand is. Well, sure, you know what I mean?
And that, there's a Venn diagram. Those are crossing over, right?
For sure.
And so it's like intent. We can't measure someone's intent, right? And it's like, yeah, I don't intend to play on a lineup with like a band that has a
like
rapist
or a monster.
Yeah,
a monster. Yeah.
And it's like oh, I happen to do so. Then it's like, cool, I'm not going to do that anymore. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
But it's like,
you can't be perfect all the time, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Right. But yeah, can you look at that as like an image problem or can you look at that as an accountability problem? And it's like, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, your intention is to like not support people who do bad things and not like, hold them to like, hey, maybe you should like talk about this or maybe, other people should know about this so that like they're not in danger around this person. And that's good. And that's like, that is having integrity. But that also lines up with like, I don't want to be associated with this person. That is like an image decision as well. It
is part of it. But like for me, the main thing is like as God, I don't know. I as someone who has, I'm trying to decide if I publicly want to get into that.
And again, I don't know any drama. Actually.
No,
like,
it's not drama. No, it's not drama related. It's just personal stuff. Like for me, like, like I was, I think about it. I was assaulted as a kid, so I think about it differently. And so like for me, it's not about image with these things, and I feel like it shouldn't be. I think it should be about ending cycles of negative things like abuse and like promoting change and accountability. So like for me, it's not about like I hope, and to some extent it is because I'm human. I know that it is about image and that like at the end of the day, do I want to be associated with what I want to be associated with, like Harvey Weinstein or something? Fucking no way. And I'd be lying if I said that it was all like completely like this puristic, moralistic thing. Like I'm an awesome person, because like it's not. Everybody wants to be looked at as a good person. But to some extent, I do believe in my heart that part of it is because I know and I realize that if we like hold people accountable, it can end cycles of people hurting other people and hurting themselves. Because when people do negative things like that, and like I think that it, you know, a lot of hurt people, you know, and I mean, I do think there's probably people out there that are legitimately like terrible. I think there are evil people, but I think it, you know, I don't know. I think that it probably also just comes from a place of like mental illness and ignorance, and a horrible mixture of the two.
Yeah. Sorry for the tangent, but yeah. I feel like you have a more interesting perspective on that, which is why I went down that rabbit hole. How do we reduce the division between people?
Damn, these are working real well together. I think the way we reduce the division between people is through education. I think that education is important. I think that people only hate what they don't understand. I think that, especially like politically, I think that if people knew that like people were fucking them over, they wouldn't be like engaging with something. Like if they knew they were getting a bad deal, or if they knew that like if they could, like Star Trek, reach out and like touch someone like Spock and feel like what they're feeling, or like, that's such a nerdy ass reference, but like, I mean, it's a basic one, but like it's still it's just funny. If someone could reach out and feel that pain, like, and try to understand someone, I feel like the divisiveness would change, because that's what kind of radicalized me to the left and like made me fired up for other people, is like going and listening to other people and trying to feel like empathy for how they feel. And like, if people can just get fired up for like humanity and like hear other people's perspectives and really listen, I think that there would be less divisiveness. And I think a lot of human rights issues would be like less of a political issue and more of just like this is people, like, you know what I mean? Like, and if people can see each other as people, I think the death of selfishness is the beginning of the end of divisiveness. Or does that make sense?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. That is one Christian saying that I like a lot, that I think that not everyone has to live by, but I think that personally it is my calling and I want to strive towards this, which is like this saying to live is for Christ, to die is for gain, right? And so like sometimes I think about it and I think of other people around me as Christ, and to live for other people like is for Christ, and like to die is for gain. Like to live for other people, to die for other people is kind of how I think about it sometimes. And like we do have to take care of ourselves individually, and like I can be selfish sometimes, and sometimes I even need self-care and stuff, but I think that like putting other people first sometimes is like super underrated.
Yeah.
Especially in music.
Yeah. Do you believe humans are evil by nature?
I think people are ignorant left to their own devices. I believe that like, I don't know, in a vacuum, I don't think people are anything. I think we would probably just be like animals if like we had nothing. I mean, I don't know. I've seen like documentaries of like feral kids and stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like stuff like that. Like, I think if you're not like, I think everything is like, to some extent is, what like you're surrounded by and stuff. I mean, like if you didn't teach a child to talk, they would have no concept of like how to speak and stuff. If you don't teach, I mean, everyone needs to be taught things. So I think people are neither good nor evil necessarily. I think we're a mixture of our brain chemistry and our surroundings.
Yeah. I agree 100% actually. So yeah. What do you think humanity is heading towards in the future?
I want to choose to think positive things. Hopefully I have a while longer here. So hopefully I got at least another, how old am I, 22? At least I hope I have another 40 years at least. That would be nice. And that would give me time to like do some more music and stuff. And I have no plan. Like, I like being here. I like being on Earth. I like being alive. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I want to choose to be positive and think that things are going to be okay in the future. I think that things I don't know what the right word is, ecologically, like the earth is probably going to be in a tough spot in like the next 100 years or so. But like in my time, I hope that we can reduce harm and that things will be okay. And that's kind of just where I'm at. And I think that even if things are going to be bad in the future, I don't think it does matter, but like I'm going to try to have joy, or else like, I don't know what else I'll do. I mean, nothing, I think the future could possibly be bad, but like there's nothing I can really do about that on a huge level, you know?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I have a lot of choice around the future, so like I'm just gonna choose to like try to find joy in every moment.
Yeah. What are you optimistic about for our future?
I think that that's hard. It shouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
I think that there is change coming, and I think that there's hopeful possibility of like reformation in our country and in the world, and I hope that things are going to get better. And I think that hopefully, I hope that we can like my hope and is that like, I don't know, that we can find clean energy in the future. Like that would be really cool.
Yeah. What makes you content?
Listening to podcasts and playing Elden Ring.
Nice.
Playing Dark Souls, Elden Ring, like any of the Souls like games, just like playing those and like playing video games, or laying in bed and watching Netflix with my partner, driving in the car and listening to punk music with it like blasted, and just like doing verses in my car by myself, being at a hardcore show where it's like full stacked, like there's so many people like back to back, and like people are like jumping on stage and running and jumping off into the crowd, and it's just like nuts. And like I can't being at a concert that's so amazing that like I lose track of time passing, and like all my anxiety goes out the door, and all I'm thinking about is being in the present, in the moment where I am right now. That is, to me, is like one of the most content places I can be, is like at a show where I'm fully into it, you know?
Yeah. When will you be satisfied?
Never. I'm just kidding. No. God, that's dude. That's a good question. That is a good ass question.
It's technically not my question, but
it's a good question.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna choose to be satisfied right now.
Cool.
I'm gonna try to be satisfied in every moment.
Yeah. What advice do you have for people in general?
I think my advice for other people is be considerate of other people.
Yeah. Lastly, potentially most importantly, cake or pie?
Pie.
Ooh, quick.
Yeah, I like pie. Pie is good. I like pie a lot.
What's the pie that came to mind when the question was asked?
I think it's hard because I do like pie a lot, and pie is definitely my answer. Coconut cream pie is good. Cherry pie is good. Anything from Pie Junkie is really good. I fucking love pie. Cake, I do like cake a lot too, but like, I don't know, like cake from Ingrid's. I don't know if you've ever been there. Like they have like big German chocolate cake is really good. I like that a lot. But if I had to choose between pie or cake, I'm probably always going to go pie.
Yeah. And by the way, cheesecake is pie. It's just like
okay.
Yeah, it's just been like decided on.
Fuck with cheesecake. Yeah. Cheesecake for sure is like cheesecake for me. I always eat it. I love it so much that I always eat it super fast and feel like I'm gonna fucking throw up. Like it's always a nightmare.
Yeah. So just the general consensus on this podcast: cheesecake is pie.
Cheesecake is pie. I like cheesecake.
Yeah. Brandon, thank you so much for doing this with me. Where can people find you and your things? Grand_Pa_Vern is my band account. We have a website, grandpavern.com. You can see what we're up to, our shows. I need to update it. We have an online store where you can buy our merch attached to our website, grandpavern.com. You can find our music streaming on all streaming services. We like Spotify the most. So, yeah, or just like check us out at any shows. I know we're
Going to be playing in, you know, different cities, hopefully. So come check us out. We have a show June 19th at the Blue Note in OKC. We have a show in Kansas, I think, August 5th. I don't know. We'll have show dates posted on our thing, but yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, check it out. Once again, thank you so much. This has been great. I'm Santiago Ramones.
Brandon Ross.
What song is about to play?
Let's just go with Flawed.
You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music and produce audio. The music you're hearing now is music I made. You can listen to official releases by Santiago Ramones on Spotify, Apple Music, and the other streaming places. Or you can support me directly by buying my music on Bandcamp. I'm working on Hypothetical, my first singer-songwriter album, so if you'd like to hear that at some point, there are lots of ways to support me on my website. There's a Discord server in which we discuss deep topics from the podcast, but it's also a community of beautiful human beings. All the links to all my things are on my website, santiagoramones.com. Please take a moment to rate and review the podcast. It would mean a lot to me to hear what you have to say, and it lets others know what to expect, better than I could ever explain. I want to help the world have deeper conversations, so thank you for listening to and supporting Bit Depth. I was in the podcast with my 3 things. They shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails, it's going to be okay, I might be wrong.